Now, what I observe in this black one is that I don't have y equals at the beginning, and I don't have a variable like an x or a y that's all by itself. Kind of out of luck on that, but what I do observe is that I have my x's in the first column, my y's in the second column, my equal signs lined up, and my numbers on the right. Everything is lined up. There's my x, there's my y's, there's my equals, and there's my numbers, and that's key. If you see that, elimination might be the way to go. Now, the other thing that I noticed is that you'll see that I have a lot of similarity in the y column. You see that you have matching 6y's. Matching 6y's is so nice, and I'll show you why. The elimination technique allows you to do one of two things. You can either add or you could subtract your equations. Now, you can do some other stuff as well, but for today, add or subtract only. And the idea is, well, I want to get rid of or eliminate something. So here's what I think I can do. Imagine if I went ahead and just subtracted the second equation from the first equation. You could follow along in your notes and write this in as we go, but imagine we subtract. Take the 16 minus, I'm pointing, but the 16 minus 5, the 16x minus 5x, and I'd get 11x. The 6y minus, I'm going to the negative sign, the 6y minus the 6y, well, that eliminates, that's gone. So you could put it, well, I don't want to put an x, but there's nothing there. That eliminates, so that's gone. Look at that, that's gone. Now I'm going to do 100. I'm going to go back to my pink subtraction sign, 100 minus 56. And I might need to do some borrowing. And this is going to be a 10, which is really a 9, and 44. All right, so divide by 11. Look how easy that is. I'm already half done with the problem. So my x value is 4. And all I need to do is finish it off. Now, in every problem up to this point, we've used substitution. We're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to substitute into either of the two original equations. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to pick the bottom one. 5x plus 6y is 56. So 5 times 4 plus 6y is 56. This is a 20 plus 6y is 56. I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And I get y is 6. And there's my answer. My answer is x is 4, y is 6, and I'm done. And arguably, this is faster and easier than substitution. Let's go ahead and look at the second example. Of course, pause, write this down in your notes so that you have a good copy. But now let's look at the blue copy and see if we can do anything similar to that. Here we go. In the blue one, key component. I see my x's, my y's, my equal signs, my numbers all lined up really nicely for me. I already want to use elimination. This time I see a pair of numbers that look very similar, but they're opposites. I see the 4x and the negative 4x, and while they both have the 4, one's positive and one is negative. Believe it or not, this is the best case scenario. This is the absolute best thing that could ever happen to you, and here's why. We're simply going to add the top and the bottom equation together, and life will be good. So watch this. 4x and negative 4x, 4x plus negative 4x is 0x. I don't need to write that. That means we've already eliminated one of the variables. Now I'm using the y column. Positive y plus negative 4 is negative 3y, right? Put the 1 in there if you think you need it. Here comes the equal sign. 36 plus negative 48 is negative 12, and I almost have my y value. Divide both sides by negative 3, and y is 4. There it is. Half my answer again. Same as before, substitute that into one of the two original equations. Doesn't really matter which one. I usually recommend whichever one seems easier. And in this case, the first one seems easier. So 4x plus y, so 4x plus 4 equals 36. I'll do a minus 4 to both sides. 4x is 32. Divide both sides by 4, and x is 8. And here you go, 8 and 4. Once again, nice, easy answer and relatively quick. Let's do one more for good measure. I'm going to slide on down to the purple one. This is my last example. The video is almost over, and you'll be left to just do this same thing 6 or 8 or 10 times this evening, and that'll be it for the week. Check it out. So one more time. I see the x's, I see the y's, I see the equal signs, I see the numbers. They're all lined up just like they should be. I'm looking for any similarities between the top and the bottom where we could eliminate, and I see 9 x's here and here. Well, if I add them together, it's going to become 18x. I don't want that. I want it to eliminate. I want it to go away. So I'll do the other thing. There's only two choices. You can either add or you can subtract. So 9x take away 9x is 0x, elimination. 30y minus 6y is 24y. And 270 minus 126, let's see, 7 becomes a 6. This becomes a 10. 4, and 1. There we go. Now I'm going to divide both sides by what's called a coefficient. In this case, it's 24. Y is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks like. Nope, 6. Y equals 6. You could use a calculator if you need to. 144 divided by 24. And let's do the last step. The last step is still the same as it's always been. I take that 6, which is y, and I put it into one of the first two equations. This time I like the second looking equation because the numbers are a little smaller. So 9x plus 6y is 9x times 6 times 6, because this 6 goes there, right? Equals 126. I'm going to do 9x plus 36 is 126. Subtract the 36 from both sides. Divide both sides by 9. This is all algebra that you should be able to handle. And I have my answer. The x comes first because it always does. The y comes second because that's how we write them. And I'm done. That's it.